The importance of having a capital market mix to developing economies can never be overemphasized. Today, I want to attempt to give a high level overview of the importance of having a capital market mix. In this overview, I will cover a number of areas. One, I will give a definition of capital markets. I will give a definition of asset management and trading in markets. I will give a definition of investment management. I will also look at how these markets are likely to impact and accelerate economic growth. I will also look at asset management from the perspective of capital flight, and I will also look at the need to build local institutional capacity around this entire conversation. I begin by looking at a definition of a capital market mixed. In some parts of the world, this might be called corporate financing. The corporate financial sector represents four important sectors. One, it represents the DCM, the debt capital markets. It represents the ECM, the equity capital markets, and it also represents the SCM, the smart capital markets, and the CCM, the credit capital market. Now, this literally provides a marketing mix that enables the entrepreneur or the average individual who wants to access capital for their corporate or personal venture. It provides them the opportunity to do so. And this is absolutely necessary to sustain a growing economy and developed economies. The other important concept that I want us to look at here, a brief overview, is what we're going to call the definition of asset management and trading and market. When we talk of asset management, we are talking about assets that comes under asset management. In this regard, we are referring to things like SWF, sovereign wealth funds. We're referring to insurance funds, pension funds, high net worth individuals, and super high net worth individuals. This in of itself is a platform that provides tremendous capital that funnel its way all back up to corporate financing. So it's important to understand this and the significant role that asset management plays in the corporate financial space. Along with this, it's important to understand a true definition of investment management, because it is from investment management you're also able to generate capital from things like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, hedge funds, from things like REIT, real estate investment trusts, from things like ETF, exchange rate funds, from things like index funds and IRA. This platform also provides an opportunity for the average person, the general public, to be able to invest in the stock. And every stock that they're invested in goes under some form of asset management. Sometimes these capital finds their way all the way back up to corporate financing, either through an independent investment institution or through an institution that might be listed on as an IPO. And it's important to understand how this entire sector integrate and interrelate with each other. Now, it is the coming together of these financial sectors and finding the way to form symbiotic relationships the opportunity to gel and carry on economic activities that can have this significant role in the economic growth acceleration. And one justification in my argument is that on the asset management, whether you're dealing with SWF, whether you're dealing with pension funds, insurance funds, high net worth individual, and super high net worth individual, these persons are only putting their capital with boutique intermediaries or global intermediaries because they have an interest in growing their wealth. And because they have an interest in growing their wealth, they're going to be looking at the corporate financial sector or any sector that can give cash flow. This in itself is a driver for economic development. This in itself is a driver for social and human research development. This in itself is a driver for economic transformation and diversification. So the importance of having the marketing mix, again, cannot be overemphasized. Now, having said that in this very brief overview, I want to conclude by making a few other statements. One, there's a must be a recognition that as we look at the local and developing economies asset management portfolio, the SWF, the insurance funds, the pension funds, the high net worth individual, the super high net worth individual, there is a massive capital flight that is taking place here. Now, what do I mean? Every year, you can see billions of dollars are being transferred to international investment portfolios, asset management portfolios, perhaps because the level of trust and confidence and credibility in the local market is not there, or because the financial infrastructures are not there that can ensure that the investment is going to be secure and that the investment is going to give the high dividend yield at the end of the period to sovereign wealth, pension funds, insurance funds, high net worth individual, super high net worth individual. Regardless of yin and yang, as we look at developing economies and the need to keep those capital back at home and the impact that this can have on stimulating economic diversification, economic transformation, and leapfrogging and human resource development and national development, we have to now speak from the perspective of the need for building local institutional capacity. There's an urgent need to build institutional capacity where we have experts in sale traders, experts in execution traders, experts in stock pickers, experts in market makers, experts in structures, and experts in quant. Now, every structured boutique intermediary and global intermediaries, they have this intellectual capacity. The need for this intellectual capacity as you set out to strengthen, diversify, grow your marketing mix. Again, this cannot be overemphasized because it is by having this talent base, this intellectual capabilities, you're able to mitigate risk. These players understand the concept that we call derivatives and understanding how to leverage forward, future, option, or swap derivatives is what enables you to hedge any risk associated with investment. This is something that can certainly build local confidence, trust, and credibility in the boutique investors and in global intermediaries as they look for reliable sources to give high dividend rewards based on the capital portfolio that they are bringing to the market. In conclusion, I want to say this. The local stock exchange market is not a stock exchange market without its enablers. The local stock exchange market needs the enablers. Traditionally, in developing economies, we are seeing that the enablers are the average small investors from the public. It is not the SWF, it is not the pension funds, it is not the insurance funds, it is not the high net worth individual, and it's not the super high net worth individuals. And can you imagine that all of these players, instead of looking for overseas investment where we are having capital flight, they trust the local sector because the vision is big and the desire to leapfrog and transform the economy is there. And they're pooling, they're pumping their capital right back into the economy. Can you imagine what this will do to our local stock exchange market? Can you imagine the impact that this is going to have on the corporate sector? Can you imagine the impact that this is going to have on the national economy? Last but not least, can you imagine the impact that this is going to have on the average citizen that understand the marketing mix and can leverage their simple credit score to access credit and set the stage to start to build wealth, personal wealth for themselves? In conclusion, I just want to emphasize this again. Developing economies across the world, it's important to stop and take stock of the importance of the marketing mix. This is what can impact your human resource development. This is what can impact corporate development and transformation. This is what can impact economic leapfrogging. This can have tremendous positive impact on the macroeconomic development process. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books. I'm a self-published multiple best-selling author for Billionaire Codes and Manager's Toolkit. My new book titled TEDx Branding and Marketing, The Psychology of Doing Business is going to be out very soon. So I encourage you to like, subscribe, and share this podcast so you will be the first to know when these groundbreaking contents are being published. Remember, we're in a period of COVID-19, and I want to encourage you to be safe, be smart, protect yourself. Ensure that you're investing in building up and boosting your immune system. Be blessed, and see you in the next broadcast.